Welcome to Within the Frame, where we bring the most pressing issues across the globe into focus. I'm Kim Mok-yeon. This October, world leaders will gather in South Korea for the 2025 APEC Leaders Meeting, a pivotal moment for regional cooperation on emerging technologies, demographic challenges, and inclusive growth. Indonesia, one of the most influential economies in the ASEAN, has been steadily deepening its ties with South Korea, not only in trade and diplomacy, but also increasingly in digital innovation, infrastructure, and security. With Indonesian President Prabowo Subianto expected to visit Seoul and high-level exchanges now more active than ever, both countries are looking to translate this momentum into a long-term strategic alignment. For a clear direction on where this relationship is headed and how the upcoming APEC Leaders Meeting could shape it, we are joined by Cecep Herawan, Ambassador of the Republic of Indonesia to South Korea. A big welcome, Ambassador.
Thank you very much, Ms. Kim. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you for joining us. So let's start right away. Like I've said, we're just weeks away from the APEC Leaders Meeting here in South Korea, and some major themes are already taking shape. So among AI, demographic shifts, and inclusive growth, which agenda is Indonesia watching most closely?
Thank you. Thank you very much for the question based just now. As you may recall that President Prabowo on many occasions has stated that economic growth is one of his main priorities in running his administration. To this end, policies and programs to promote economic growth are designed inclusively to ensure that economic growth will benefit all Indonesians. Therefore, during the APEC Summit, Indonesia will focus on key areas, particularly food security, through sustainable farming and innovative agricultural technologies, as well as energy transition. To support the inclusive economic growth efforts, the use of emerging technology, AI, must ensure a meaningful participation for all by empowering people, not displacing them. In this regard, Indonesia has consistently encouraged the implementation of good governance in AI, encompassing transparency, robust data protection, and safeguard against risk. Now on the issue of demographic change. While APEC members might be in different stages, Indonesia will emphasize the need to coordinate and cooperate in each member's respective policy to ensure benefit for both aging and younger societies as one Asia-Pacific community.
Right. So, Ambassador, you've mentioned quite a lot of things, but from the beginning, you've focused on food security. Now, speaking of that, we want to elaborate. You recently led the Indonesian delegation at the APEC Food Security Meeting, where AI in agriculture was quite a hot topic. So, how is Indonesia actually applying digital tools in farming, and could South Korea be a partner in that effort?
Yes, Indonesia believes that digital technology could help in improving productivity by reducing the input waste, optimizing the supply chains, and enable data-driven decision-making for farmers and policymakers, as well as encouraging the use of AI, drones, smart sensors, and predictive analysis. However, we are also aware that technology alone is not enough. This is where Indonesia and Korea's partnership can play its role. We can work together on several areas. First, strengthening the required ecosystem to fully reap the benefit of AI in agriculture. Second, accelerating digital infrastructure development, especially in rural and remote areas, to ensure innovative can reach its intended user. And third, enhancing data literacy and digital training among farmers and supporting workers. And lastly, of course, forging partnership with the research institutions and universities to develop an AI-based agricultural solution tailored to local conditions in Indonesia. I think that's the work that we can having together with Korean partner.
Great. It's really interesting to hear how digital tools are reshaping such a traditional sector and also how South Korea could fit into that picture as well. Now, Ambassador, we also hear that you've met with Gyeongsangbuk-do officials ahead of the summit to, discuss sister city ties as well. Could you tell us what kind of opportunities do you see for regional cooperation between the two countries?
Yes, Indonesia and Korea have long enjoyed close and meaningful regional cooperation. One of them is the Cecep Province partnership between Gyeongsangbuk-do Province and the special region of Yogyakarta, Indonesia. It started since 20 years ago in 2005. The cooperation has been very productive and beneficial. Concrete examples of collaboration and partnership between these two provinces are, among others, the Cemol Udong program and the exchange of personnel program. The Indonesian government is also currently in a close discussion to establish of cooperation in a vocational education with Gyeongsangbuk-do province. Certainly, as a host of APEC Summit in 2025, Gyeongsangbuk-do province will leverage its position because of the high-level exposure from the presence of the APEC leaders, and it will highlight Gyeongju City, including its cultural heritage as a prominent tourist destination. And at the same time, it will also enhance people-to-people contact, which will further encourage the strengthening of regional cooperation between the two countries, particularly Indonesia and Korea.
Right. So let's hope those regional partnerships could lead to, better long-term diplomacy between the two sides as well. Now, we are also seeing more of a high-level, top-level engagement with President Prabowo's visit expected, and special envoys already being exchanged. So how could this diplomatic momentum open doors for, areas of new cooperation between the two leaders?
As you may aware that Indonesia and Korea have enjoyed a very productive special strategic partnership since 2017. Both countries now have relatively new leaders with a similar visions. Therefore, I believe it is time to elevate the partnership to a higher level. The newly elevated partnership should be designed to deliver a more concrete result. This includes through the exchange of high-level official visits, as you mentioned, to create a sense of familiarity and understanding, a better understanding between the two countries. There is a saying in Indonesian, in Bahasa Indonesia, tak kenal maka tak sayang, or literally, you cannot love what you don't know. So to build on the stronger mutual understanding, it is important to recognize the economic sector as one of the key pillars of Indonesia and Korea relation as well. Despite geopolitical and geoeconomic challenges, the economic relations have consistently been strengthened. Korea is currently Indonesia's 7th largest investor, and Indonesian government is committed to facilitating more economic cooperation between the two countries, with the Minister of Foreign Affairs already also stipulated during his visit to Korea. For this objective, Indonesia, through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and in cross collaboration with other relevant ministries, will establish a small but very efficient and effective task force to facilitate smoother business cooperation between our two countries, to facilitating and the bottlenecking business activities between the two countries.
Right.
We are now in a very close coordination. We are now in a very close coordination with our counterparts here in Korea on possibly establish similar task force here in Korea. So it will be having a seamless organization between the two task force in Indonesia as well as. Thank you.
Right. So what you've said, it was a very bold, strong message. You can't learn what you really don't know. So we will look forward to, expanding understanding between the two countries moving forward. Now, when we look back a little bit, it's been over 5 decades since South Korea and Indonesia established diplomatic relations. So, Ambassador, in your view, what's allowed this partnership to remain so strong over the years?
Yes, first and foremost, as you mentioned, Indonesia and Korea's partnership is long built. The most key factor, I think, we are sharing common values: democracy, rule of law, respect for human rights, and multilateralism, as well as a vision of a peaceful and prosperous Asia-Pacific region. For years, these values have reflected and guided both countries' collaboration across various regional and multilateral fora. We were together in ASEAN, APEC, MICTA, as well as G20. These values are indeed the foundation of our rock-solid relationship. But then there is an X factor that makes Indonesia and Korea partnership sustained and resilient, and that is the complementarity nature of our partnership. This nature of partnership is especially important because it ensures mutually beneficial cooperation for both countries. It allows Indonesia and Korea to contribute and optimize their distinct strengths, drive more innovation and growth, and create synergy rather than friction. Indonesia, as you may know, is rich in natural resources. In such a strategic location as a hub for ASEAN and Pacific region, along with demographic bonus from its young population. While at the same time, Korea is the powerhouse of technology, innovation, and industrial expertise, and a source of credible investment. This creates a unique opportunity to expand cooperation in so many potential areas: in commodities, energy transition, EV, infrastructure, digital innovation, and human resources development. Furthermore, Indonesia's leadership in ASEAN and Korea's posture in the Northeast Asia part have become very essential in bringing and reinforcing the role of both countries as partners in promoting peace, stability, and prosperity in the broader Asia-Pacific region. I think that's what I'm seeing this situation right now.
Right. So this X factor of being complementary to each other, let's hope it could, further strengthen ties in the next 50 years to come. Now, beyond traditional economic ties, the two countries are now expanding into future-oriented sectors also, like digital transformation, smart infrastructure, and also carbon neutrality. So, Ambassador, from your perspective, which of these areas has the most potential for meaningful cooperation?
Yes, in recent years, these three sectors, as you mentioned, have indeed gained greater attention and focus in partnerships between Indonesia and Korea. Several projects are already underway in Indonesia. For example, on smart infrastructure, we have cooperation in water management, smart mobility, as well as smart cities. While on the digital technology, we have Korea's accelerator program for Indonesian startup, and of course, capacity building program on AI, data science, and digital policy development. While on the carbon neutrality, our EV cooperation is part of our effort towards a green economy. However, I would like to say that there is still much more untapped potential for a carbon neutrality partnership between the two countries. Indonesia is blessed with one of the largest tropical forest areas in the world, including the largest mangrove forest in the world, reaching around 3.3 million hectares, while has the potential to absorb carbon 12 times better than a tropical rainforest. Now, while at the same time, as an industrial-based country, Korea, which produces almost if my data is not mistaken, around 700 million metric tons of greenhouse gas emission in 2024, set the target to achieve carbon neutrality by 2050. I think this creates an ample opportunity for Indonesia and Korea to develop a strategic environmental partnership, especially in the form of carbon offset and credit mechanism. And we already kickstart this cooperation last year when Indonesia and Korea signed an MOU focusing on the implementing the Article 6 of the Paris Agreement, facilitating cooperation in carbon market and emission reduction. Not only will this cooperation help both countries, Korea and Indonesia, to achieve their climate goals, but it will also support the sustainable growth by attracting investment into green economy, bolstering innovation of green technology, and of course, empowering the local communities. That's, I think, the benefit of this cooperation.
Mm-hmm. So that kind of forward-looking synergy could be a real driver for both economies. So shifting gears, cultural and people-to-people exchanges are also on the rise, Ambassador. How do you see Korean culture, so-called, K-culture, playing a role in connecting the people of Indonesia and Korea more closely?
Yes, you're right that the K-culture has become a powerful connector between Korea and Indonesia, especially among the younger generation. The global popularity of K-pop, K-drama, fashion, and cuisine resonate strongly in Indonesia, creating not only admiration but also active participation through what's called fan communities, cultural events, creative collaboration. This enthusiasm naturally foster the curiosity about Korea's society and values. At the end, encouraging more Indonesians to learn Korean language, to study Korea, and engage in the exchange. And at the same time, it opened an opportunities for reciprocal appreciation of Indonesian culture in Korea. Indonesia is a land of immense cultural diversity with over 1,300 ethnic groups and centuries-old tradition. I would like to introduce this business as well to Korea, connecting both more Indonesian and Korean people. For example, perhaps by expanding cultural festival to combine music, film, cuisine, fashion from both countries. Ultimately, the K-culture, more than entertainment, I believe. It is a bridge that inspires dialogue, collaboration, and respect. When coupled with Indonesia's rich cultural heritage, I believe it will also create a two-way cultural flow and also strengthening the foundation of our special strategic partnership, ensuring that our relation not only government-driven, more importantly, but is also a people-centered and future-oriented, as you mentioned.
Right. So it's really already exciting to, see, the citizens of two countries exchanging their each cultures. Now, before we let you go, Ambassador, let's end with what's happening on the ground. So what concrete programs is the Indonesian embassy running here in South Korea to further strengthen the relationship between the two countries?
Thank you very much. This is a very timely inquiry as my team and I are currently working on our work plan for 2006. Certainly, my mission is to have a series of activities to further introduce Indonesia comprehensively, not only in Seoul, but also in the regions all over Korea. I assume that we could have activities which include public lectures at the universities or at the high schools, and we can have a forum for engagement with the local business community, as well as the cultural promotion of Indonesian originals, which will conclude at the end. The flagship event will be held here in Seoul. I hope this will bring more benefit in strengthening the relation between Indonesia and Korea in all levels, including government, business, and most importantly, people-to-people engagement in the future.
Right, so it's really encouraging to see how diplomacy is being carried out not just through summits and official visits, but also through sustained programs on the ground. Ambassador Herawan, thank you so much for your time and for your insights tonight. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. It is an honor. Thank you.
And that'll be all from us on Within the Frame tonight. Thank you for joining us, and be sure to tune in again next time as we continue to explore the stories that matter. Until then, stay informed and engaged.